Folks, I can pretty well guarantee you that if this man is available at the Toronto Raptors selection at number 19th overall in this year's NBA draft, where he's projected to go around, this prospect that Masai Ujiri's been scouting overseas, I can guarantee that he will be a Toronto Raptor. He will be selected with that draft pick, and there is a possibility of it. Heck, I think if the Toronto Raptors end up trading into the top 10, as it's been rumored, there's a few of those picks available, and the Raptors have the assets to potentially make one of those moves. Even if the Raptors trade into the top 10, I would not be shocked if Masai Ujiri makes that reach and ends up selecting Tidjane Salaun, my bad French accent's coming out despite the fact I lived in Montreal for a few years. I guarantee Masai Ujiri will be picking this man. So in this video, I'm going to break down who this prospect is, show Masai Ujiri scouting him, and break down whether or not it makes sense for this Toronto Raptors team to take the risk and bring in this raw French prospect. But before we dive into that, folks, you guys have been absolutely crushing it, hitting that like button. It's helping out the channel big time. So if you're enjoying these vids, make sure you guys hit that like button. It means the world to me. But let's dive into what's been going on, because obviously with the NBA draft just weeks away here now at this point, we know the selections, we know the picks that we're going to have in this year's draft class. We lost our lottery pick, but we still have picks number 19 as well as 31. And we're seeing some of the players come out. The draft boards this year is probably the craziest I've ever seen. It's extremely unpredictable to see where anyone's going to go. So Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, the Toronto Raptors scouts have been, as they always do, scouting all over the world, different prospects and different players. And one guy was important enough that Masai Ujiri had to go over and see him with his own eyes. Basically, Tidjane Salaun is caught. You can see him in the corner there with the little red circle. Pulled this picture from Reddit. Masai Ujiri out there in the stands, scouting French prospect Tidjane Salaun. Now, if you're like me, you're learning about all these prospects as we go along, as all the sort of reports we get closer to NBA draft night. But who the heck is this man? Why is he a potential guarantee for the Toronto Raptors if he's available for the squad? Well, this man, if we look at Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, this current front office's track record in terms of draft selections, one thing they've been public about is they're not worried about position. They want to select the best player available, the guy with the most upside, the most potential in any NBA draft. So regardless of position, whatever's going on, right, they want that sort of piece that could be a home run hit. And we've seen in the past, 2013, whatever year Giannis was drafted, Masai Ujiri, there's videos of him trying to trade up in that NBA draft to pick up Giannis. Obviously, would have been a massive home run. And I'm not going to be able to get the years right, but basically, we reached for Bruno Caboclo at the number 20th overall pick in a draft. Obviously, that was a major risk. Potentially extremely high upside guy. Didn't really pay off, but was another sort of quintessential Masai Ujiri draft pick. We can go throughout the years. Masai loves taking those big swings on raw athletic prospects that might be a year or two down the line, able to develop. Pascal Siakam was one of those dudes, and, right away might not be the best player during their rookie season, but could potentially pan out a year or two down the line with some development, with some years underneath their belt to have extremely high upside. And Tidjane Salaun is one of those types of dudes. Basically, we can look at his sort of stats right now. I mean, not even 19 years old yet. He's turning 19 in August, so extremely young. Played for Chloé Basket over in France, and 6'9", small forward. Again, the 6'9" vision, as we all have sort of talked about along that front, the Raptors, no matter how much they're moved away from it, they're getting point guards, they're getting centers, the current roster construction over the past year. But raw prospect, 6'9", small forward, athletic, with an interesting shooting touch, interesting potential. We can dive into his stats. Again, overwhelming stats aren't really there for Salaun in France. Only 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist per night. Decent free throw shooting, 32% from the three-point line. But if we look at any stats from any players over in Europe, even Luka and Wembanyama, the top upper echelon guys, didn't have the craziest of stats playing professionally, being a young guy, a young player. I mean, this dude is only 18 years old, right? They're not going to have crazy eye-popping box score numbers. But from the highlights that I watched, and more importantly, the scouting reports I've sort of read regarding this guy, defensively, he is a hound. He can get a lot of steals, he can move, and despite being a younger guy, showed that he was a really strong defender over there in France, playing overseas, and he has that jump shooting potential, right? 32% from the three-point line isn't amazing, during his 18-year-old season playing professional basketball, but he's a guy that knocks down free throws. He has a nice looking jump shot, and his jump shot projects well coming into the NBA. It's not like one of these non-jump shooting prospects, players coming in with absolutely zero range in their game. He has a jump shot already in his bag, but it just needs to continue to develop and, take the next level, take the next leap. So that's that. And then also recently in the playoffs over there in France, the dude has been putting up some crazy numbers. If I got the stats, basically the 6'9" forward from France is reportedly not viewed as a potential now viewed as a top 10 pick in the 2024 NBA draft after a strong run with as of late with Chloe Basket Salaun, trying to pronounce things in French is brutal, but who will turn 19 in August, dazzled in his latest performance, scoring 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. In a win over Paris in Game 1 of the French League playoffs, he finished on 8 of 13 shooting from the field and 2 of 5 from the three-point line. So, he's having some big games over there in the playoffs, and that really projects what will he fall to the Toronto Raptors at 19? Because I've seen a ton of mock drafts put these dudes in completely different places. I mean, we can look at it here now. In the Tankathon draft, they have him going number 14th overall to the Portland Trail Blazers. This one's come from NBAMockDraft.com. They have him going 15th overall, I believe, to the Miami Heat. So 14, 15 is kind of the range they have him in there right now. But basically, every single draft site has players going all over the place. I mean, Nikola Topic is a guy that was projected top 4 on some sites and then have him fall into 12, 13, 14 in other sites. No one really knows where people are going to fall, where people are going to land in this year's NBA draft. And frankly, if he falls to 19, if he goes all the way down there, I would be shocked. I would be absolutely perplexed. Not because it's the right pick, the wrong pick, but that is the quintessential Masai Ujiri style draft pick. So if he's there at 19, I think he will definitely get selected by the Toronto Raptors. I mean, Masai's flying overseas to scout this man directly, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Toronto Raptors trade up to get this guy. I would not be shocked, especially with how these draft picks are kind of being valued out there by analysts and things like that. I would not be shocked if Masai Ujiri ends up making a move, making a deal to reach up and select this man. Now, does it make sense from an outside perspective looking in? Obviously not an international basketball scout, but frankly, I am of the belief, especially in a draft like this where we don't know if players, there's no guarantees, there's no for sure home runs, but I don't mind Masai Ujiri taking swing, even if we have some wings, even if we have some twos. Our wing position is kind of loaded right now. RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, obviously the two main pieces. Grady Dick, certainly a part of the future. Then we have Gary Trent Jr. I think Bruce Brown will be traded. Got a video coming out on that as well. But, our wings are kind of loaded right now. But this guy's 6'9", can probably play a 3 or 4 position at the NBA level, especially with his defensive capabilities. Could potentially slide in, and if he gets that three-point shot underneath his belt, is an elite defender. Mature some of that rawness. I mean, there's a high upside. There's a high upside certainly for these dudes. So, it's similar to the Bayal Coulibaly from the Washington Wizards, the guy that's always trashing on Pascal Siakam. That type of draft pick where, if you take the home run and it hits, it's huge for your team, but it could easily miss. But at number 19, I think you take that risk. I think you just go for it and then maybe take someone safer at 31. But let me know what you guys think about this potential draft pick in the comment section down below. You guys are the best to make this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'm signing out. Cheers.